Please do not try what you are about to see at home.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
In this souped-up series of MythBusters,
there's so many things that could go wrong right now.
the team is taking it to the test track
If I knew what was going to happen, we wouldn't be doing the test.
to tackle everything from fuel economy
Your results may differ.
to stunts
Get out, get out, get out!
and speed.
Let's drive!
They're throwing it in reverse, slamming the brakes, and driving downright dangerously
I'm gone in a puff of smoke.
so you don't have to. Discover the science behind the most legendary automotive myths. Buckle up for Motor MythBusters Test Track. On this episode, the team go full throttle to investigate the need for speed.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we should go for 100 miles an hour.
Yep, with 3 momentous myths,
Awesome, man!
they're finding out how maximum momentum can be used to both make
This is what I call a result.
and break your day.
You got a ticket, buddy.
Adam and Jamie lift the lid on a classic automotive wives' tale. Can you stay dry with the top down
That's what the windshield's for.
by putting the pedal to the metal?
Dude, look at that.
Grant, Carrie, and Tori hit the dirt track
Okay, I'm good to go for run number 1.
and floor it
This might be the last time we see Grant.
to prove if driving faster can give you a smoother ride.
Okay, calm down.
And in pole position, the fastest myth of all. Is it possible to outrun the speed camera?
Dude, that was like getting punched in the chest.
Quick out of the blocks is speed myth numero uno.
Well, the first one is that you can beat the speed camera by driving so fast through it, it doesn't have time to take your picture.
Well, seems pretty straightforward. We get a speed camera, we get a car, and we just drive like heck.
Yeah, we do! Woo!
This one's for the Leadfoots. Can you beat the speed camera by driving so fast it can't see you? That'd be time to cue the souped-up supercar. But first, Adam wants to test the theory in this car.
This is a perfect car for the test because while it may not be the fastest car on the block, it is definitely representative of a totally average American car. If this myth is at all true, it ought to be true for your average car.
Now, if you're worried about Adam and Jamie maxing out a very average car,
This is a pair of 5-point racing harnesses.
you're not alone. So, to keep the insurance company happy, they've given it a basic race car safety fit-out.
You ready?
I'm totally ready. Let's go.
Let's go beat the speed camera.
Speed cameras work like sonar. They send out radar pulses. The time it takes for the pulse to come back to the sensor registers the speed of the vehicle. If it's over the legal limit, a signal is sent to the camera to take a photo. The myth is, if you can drive faster than the pulses, it won't detect your vehicle.
We got to beat the speed camera. And the only place where we can shoot this is our favorite tarmac at Alameda Naval Base. It's about 1.75 miles of perfectly flat road. It's absolutely ideal for our purposes.
Operating the speed camera is the mastermind behind it.
Hi, Adam.
Good to meet you both.
Adam Teuton's cameras have been the bane of every Leadfoot's life since 1987.
So basically what I'm looking at here is a radar unit attached to a camera, a storage device, and a processor.
Correct.
That's amazingly simple.
We try to make it as simple as possible.
Over the years, how many tickets have your systems issued?
I'd have to say millions.
With millions of tickets under its belt, will Jamie at full throttle be fast enough to get in under the radar? And just how fast can an average auto go?
This may look like a ray gun, but in fact, it's a radar gun.
Just in case the speed camera doesn't clock the car, Adam's handheld will still get a reading.
I feel like a bullfighter. Come on! 40, 45, 50, 60. 60 miles an hour.
From a standing start, the average auto speed is, well, average. A longer run-up should show what it's got. But does the driver have the right stuff?
As usual, our biggest problem is not doing this particular stunt, but it's dealing with the insurance issues surrounding it. So we're going to have a safety person in the car with me. We're going to have a fire suit on and a helmet and the whole 9 yards, just in case we blow a tire and spin out and crash and burn and stuff like that.
Ah, Jamie, ever the optimist.
Based solely on my intuition and on any practical experience whatsoever, I estimate that we can get this car, or that Jamie can get this car, to just over 100 miles an hour. Is it enough to beat the speed camera? I suspect that it isn't, but I'm curious to find out.
Let's go fast.
Jamie steps on the gas, leaving Adam in his dust. But did he dust off the speed camera, too?
Did you get him?
We got him.
What kind of speed did you get?
100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour.
There he is.
Not bad. Oh, and you got his license plate, too.
Let's see Jamie try and talk his way out of this one.
Well, how'd I do? Ticket or no ticket?
Oh, you got a ticket, you speeding scofflaw. We got you red-handed right here.
One picture says it all. Jamie's been booked fair and square.
Just for me, so we have a data set of more than one, which is always a goal on this show. Let's do it again.
Do I have to?
You do. Go.
How'd I do that time?
No faster.
It's like there's not a whole lot of options here. It's like flat.
We can't call it on the basis of this test alone. We need more power. We need a different car.
We need a real car.
In true MythBusters tradition, Adam and Jamie are going to push the edge of the fast envelope in a go-for-broke speed camera, speed car face-off.
We come to Infineon Raceway, where I think they have something with a lot more grunt that we can put in front of the speed camera and see if we can beat it.
One grunt machine coming up. Yep, believe it or not, our Adam Savage has been given the green light to pilot a prime piece of auto real estate.
What, beat the speed camera? What? Oh, right, that's why we're here. Sure.
How we doing? How's it going?
guys again.
But to keep us, the car, and Adam safe, Chief Driving Instructor Mark will be riding shotgun.
You think he can handle driving it?
You might be able to give it a shot.
Adam hasn't had this much fun since Adam was a boy.
I'm so ready to go. Let's go.
I don't know, Adam.
Can you believe they let me in here?
No. What's the value of this car?
280?
280. Well,
280. I
Not
can work
quite.
that. I can work that off.
Well, there goes the retirement plan.
I don't think it's going to work, even with a really fast car.
After a couple of test runs to find his groove,
100. 120. 123.
Adam's giving it all he's got.
Unbelievable.
But is it enough?
Got him. You're going to have to go faster than that to beat the speed camera.
So Adam has to swallow his pride and hand over the keys to the professional driver.
If he can't beat it, it's not going to get beaten. 115. He's going faster. 140.
136. We got a ticket.
Even with a pro propelling it to maximum momentum,
130, 440.
it's not enough to beat the speed camera.
Well, that settles it, man. If we couldn't beat it with this thing, there's no way you can beat the speed camera, no matter how fast you're going.
Not so fast. I got a little something.
That little something? Introducing the Beast. With a new day and a new test track, this 2,400-pound monster can reach speeds of up to 300 miles per hour. An ordinary car? It ain't.
This thing is beautiful. I think I'm gonna cry.
It's an engine with a chair on it.
It is, yeah,
The wheels are kind of like beside the point.
totally ancillary.
And under the helmet is Jeff Atamian. With over 30 years of drag racing experience, he's the right driver with the perfect car.
All right, Adam, we got the fastest car we can find in California. Are you ready for this?
Ready as I'll ever be.
You think we're gonna catch it?
I think so.
The Beast is in position, and the speed camera is set. Gentlemen, start your jet engines.
I think he's got it warmed
Oh,
up.
whoa, here.
There it goes.
The Beast hurtles down the strip, only slowing once its two 16-foot parachutes are deployed.
Dude, that was like getting punched in the chest. Oh my God, I can't wait to find out if that was a ticket.
It's the moment of truth.
No picture. No picture?
Nope.
So the car didn't trip the camera. That means there's no ticket.
No ticket.
No ticket. We found the speed.
So the system was working properly, but the car was going too fast for the sensors to pick it up.
There was not enough to trigger the camera.
So there you have it, a massive 245 miles an hour, and you can beat the speed camera. The Beast may have gotten away scot-free, but Adam Teuton still thinks he can catch it. With a few tweaks to the camera, will he be able to book the Beast? Time for take two.
Wow. That's on purpose. Like, that's what's supposed to happen.
Jeff unleashes the Beast once again.
I swear he was going faster that time.
I think so.
I feel like it's gonna be even faster.
It probably was, but we'll never know for sure. Unfortunately for Adam,
No picture, no ticket, end of story.
the speed camera missed the Beast entirely.
That thing was going so fast, that beast thing there, that it was in and out of the range of the camera before it knew what was going on. It was like it wasn't there. Practically speaking, of course, it's not happening. You're not driving a car with a rocket engine or a jet engine or, you know, any afterburners or anything like that on the highway. And so you might as well forget about it, but it is possible.
It's possible, yes, but with a legal car, no.
It turns out there is a way to beat the speed camera.
Yeah, pure, raw, unadulterated speed.
Rocket-powered, jet-powered, impossibly loud speed, yeah.
Yeah, give or take 200-300 miles an hour, you can beat the speed camera.
Yeah, however ungainly the solution is, we made it happen. I think our work here is done.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Come on!
Okay, so whether you're cruising the suburban streets or the interstate highway, there's no way in a registered road vehicle to beat the speed camera with speed.
This might be the last time we see Grant.
But can a vehicle's velocity get the better of bumps in the road and make the ride more comfortable when you're off the beaten track?
Anybody who spent time driving on dirt roads would know this one.
The myth is, if you're driving on a rough dirt road, it's better to drive fast because it smooths out the ride.
This one originated in the Australian outback. The theory is that driving slowly allows the car's wheels to drop into the troughs of each bump. But according to the myth, if you add speed, the car will glide smoothly over the corrugations.
Well, you know, that sounds pretty easy to test, isn't it? I mean, what are you going to do? Just go out and get a bunch of cars and test them on a rough road?
You know, I'm not sure it's that simple, Jamie, because, I mean, you guys have to figure out a way of measuring the vibration that's happening to the car under different speeds and different road conditions, right?
First things first, they're gonna need a car.
This is a 1978 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. Listen to that baby purr!
And to measure the rough road ahead, this old classic is gonna need a MythBusters makeover. To objectively record the vibration intensity at different speeds, they have 3 systems in mind. Tori has an idea for a suspension gauge. Grant will crunch the numbers on a 3-axis accelerometer, and Carrie steps up with a more elegant solution.
I love that.
I'm making a system to measure how rough each of the road trials is. And to do that, I'm using all of these wonderful crystal Chardonnay glasses and making them into a pyramid. Now, as the road makes the car tumble, the water should spill out from the top and kind of trickle down into the lower glasses and maybe spill out altogether. And at the end, we should have a really good representation of the roughness between a 15-mile-an-hour drive and, say, a 50-mile-an-hour drive.
After each test, using the 100 mil marks, they'll simply calculate the total amount of water lost. The bumpier the ride, the wetter the designated driver is going to get.
This is what your pee looks like if you have a lot of vitamins.
Meanwhile, Tori is rigging system number 2, the suspension deflection gauge. He first welds a metal rod or needle to the suspension of the car. Then he attaches a scale to the hood. Impressive, but how does it work?
So the needle stays with the suspension, and our scale stays with the body of the car. This way, we can see how much distance the two are, traveling.
Their next task is to rig the car for Carrie's glass pyramid. To make room and provide a flat surface, Grant removes the passenger seat and replaces it with a wooden platform. Now to get the pyramid into the car.
I think we should drain this before we try and fit it in there, because there'll be a lot of fussing around to get it in.
Perfect.
With the glass tower safely installed and refilled, it's just Grant's ever so slightly more technical data collector thingy to go.
Final system is my 3-axis accelerometer, and that is going to measure electronically what the deflections are, and I'll be able to load it on my computer and see.
It's official. This dirt road test track drive-by will result in more information than a space flight. And to check all systems are go, Grant and Tori are going to get the hump by taking on the parking lot speed bumps. Grant, with full-face helmet, 5-point safety belt, and wet weather gear, is focused on the safety issues, visibility, and data accuracy.
I hit it.
Tori, well, he just wants to go fast.
Faster, faster. Yeah. 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 Hit it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
We have a great proof of concept. When I hit the bumps, I could see the needle deflecting on the suspension meter. Water was flying around in here everywhere, and I've yet to check the data on my accelerometer, but I'm sure it's pretty good.
Everything's working, and it's time to hit a rough road for real. With dirt tracks in short supply in San Francisco, they head out of town.
All right, here we are.
Just outside Sacramento, they find the test track they need.
All right, we're here at the State Vehicle Recreation Center. This is where people with motorcycles, ATVs, rough road riding, this is the perfect spot to do it.
This section that we've found here is an access road, and it actually is pretty representative of a dirt road that you might find, say, out in the country or something like that.
Without further ado, Grant gets into position and refills the glasses. The first of 2 comparative runs will be at 15 miles per hour.
Okay, dude, good to go for run number 1, 15 miles per hour.
And then later at 45. Grant eases up to the test speed, and the camera on the hood shows the axle gauge working perfectly. It's recording maximum deflections of 3 inches.
All right, Grant, so that was 15 miles an hour. It didn't look too crazy.
No, and actually it was more like 20, like the car was idling very high.
So at a speed of 20 miles an hour, the maximum deflection on the suspension gauge was 3 inches. And there were 3.5 liters of water lost from Carrie's glass pyramid. So with the pyramid refilled, it's time this experiment moved into top gear.
Ready for your 45-mile-an-hour run. Paramedics are nowhere to be found. Might be the last time we see Grant. Look at that water.
At 45 miles an hour on a tricky dirt trail, this is the real deal. The axle gauge is showing a lot more activity, at times reaching the top of the scale. A maximum deflection of 6 inches.
Don't hit that rock. Yeah!
But let's find out from the driver whether the faster speed led to a smoother ride.
Dude, your eyes are like wide open. Did it scare you a little bit?
Yeah, other than like kind of control problems, it's actually a lot smoother than I thought it would be. I thought I'd be like, you know, all over the place.
What is all over the place is the water from the glass pyramid. 4.5 liters were lost, 1 full liter more than the slower test.
1.5.
Which means Grant's subjective experience of a smoother ride in the car is at odds with the data. But Tori has a theory.
It might be similar to, like, say, a horse, you know, as opposed to a trot and a gallop. You know, maybe the slower you're going, you're more conscious of the actual hits that you're doing, you know, the rocks, the bumps. You're conscious of that.
It might sound like a load of old horse manure, but Tori is prepared to saddle up to prove his point.
Okay, so I'm giving you these, and I'm gonna expect you to act responsibly, be home by 11, and have it gassed up.
All right, Mom.
Act responsibly? Tori Belleci? It's possible.
After seeing Grant do that 40-mile-an-hour run, it just makes me want to get in there and go 70.
With the area clear and the team at a safe distance, Tori hits the gas. Responsible drivers, those wearing pacemakers, and Tori's insurance company may find the following pictures disturbing.
Yeah, he's looking a little squirrely, just like I was.
Incredibly, he makes it back in one piece. But what exactly was his speed?
I probably, around the...
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
I guess like around the first set of bumps, I probably hit around 70. And by the time I passed the high-speed camera, I was, you know, close to 75.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, let's see what the data says.
And for that, it's back to the shop, where Adam and Jamie are on hand to help decipher the data and weigh in on the overarching need for speed. The numbers from the glass pyramid and suspension gauge quite clearly showed that the faster you go, the bumpier the ride.
Finally, I have my accelerometer data.
But the accelerometer data on this comparative graph says just the opposite. The dark line of the 20-mile-an-hour test shows more G-force peaks, representing a bumpier ride.
Yeah, the 70 miles an hour in the first, like, 70% of the test seems to be smoother than the 15 miles an hour. But again, like the 45, the spikes are higher.
Well, our data's in a little bit of conflict here. I mean, clearly, as you go faster, you lose more water and you have more deflection on the suspension. But our accelerometer says during that part where, you know, the road is fairly uniform, you actually have a better, smoother ride when you're driving faster.
I'm noting that the big difference is on the big hits, like a big pothole. And obviously, I don't think anybody would disagree with us. If you hit a large hole at a high speed, it's going to make more of an impact on the car than taking it easy through it.
So what we're saying here is that the myth is plausible, but I really don't think that we can put this one to bed unless we test the washboard road, that is the type of road surface that people think about and have experienced, that driving faster makes for a smoother ride, and I think you should try it and get the data to support that.
So it's back to the drawing board. If the team want to nail this myth, they have to build a replica of the track the tale is based on, the washboard road. And Grant takes time out to discover how they're formed.
So it turns out washboarding is created by the response of your car's suspension to alternatively accelerating or braking or hitting a pothole. What that does is it sets up an oscillation in the suspension that alternatively compacts the dirt or makes it fly up, creating that pattern.
These corrugated dirt tracks are common in the Australian outback. In California, not so much. So our intrepid trio are going to have to make their own on the wide-open asphalt of Alameda.
Plan today is going to be a little back-breaking. We have about 4,000 pounds of steel angle iron that we are going to lay with about 8-inch increments and weld them all down to make one long track. It's going to be a long day.
It doesn't look that tough, especially if you edit the sequence like this. Voila! One easy-to-assemble, straight-out-of-the-box washboard road. Grant's going to tell us more about it.
We've taken this angle iron and welded it to the steel here, creating a washboard pattern. And our research indicates that 4 inches tall and about 8 inches apart is about as bad as washboarding can get.
So this steel test track is an exact replica of the corrugated dirt roads the myth is based on. Which means when Tori's finished his siesta, there's just one thing left to do.
The test is going to be, we're just going to drive over our strip of washboard at different speeds. Probably start around 10 miles an hour and then slowly ramp up to 70 miles an hour.
For these runs, the team is just going to use the glass pyramid and the accelerometer.
5 miles an hour and he's still wearing his helmet.
And Grant is all set for the first run. NASCAR it ain't, cruising at a breakneck 5 miles an hour. But surprisingly, Grant and the glass pyramid are really feeling the vibes.
Oh, look at the glasses spilling.
Interesting.
Pretty bumpy.
I saw that. You could see all the water jumping out of the glass.
The glass pyramid showed a lot of activity, but the high speed is inconclusive. The wheel is bouncing, but how much, we won't know until we see a comparison. Time for run number 2. Grant has to keep the speed at a steady 40 miles an hour. And in contrast to the slow run, the wheels are skimming across the tops of the bumps.
Just by feeling it, it felt a lot smoother.
Really?
I don't know what the data's going to say, but
Okay,
just
well, let's count up our
feel it.
water.
But there's some head scratching because the numbers just don't add up.
Ready for the countdown?
Yep.
Although Grant experienced a smoother ride, there was more water lost than the slower run,
Here. Yeah, those two there. It looks like you've lost 2.
which means the physical data contradicts Grant's subjective experience in the car. So it's time for more speed. And for the final run, Grant will hit 70 miles an hour.
So if he starts steering in towards us, let's just run.
The Cutlass flies over the track, with a high-speed camera confirming the tires skip across the peaks of the corrugations, exactly as the myth suggests.
it felt actually pretty smooth.
Yeah, it looked really smooth.
I mean, subjectively, very smooth.
From the glasses, it's looking really good. It looks like there's a lot less spillage this time.
This time, the water lost from the pyramid backs up both Grant's experience and the high-speed results.
Quarter, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So it's looking good for Myth Confirmed, and Tori's feeling the need to mark the occasion.
Well, Jamie, we went ahead and built our artificial washboard. I think we can conclusively say driving faster on a rough road will give you a smoother ride.
Still, you know, you're driving 70 miles an hour and you hit a pothole, you're gonna break your suspension with that kind of mass and velocity.
What's the verdict?
Well, as far as the myth goes, it's confirmed.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cool.
So, by increasing speed on a rough road, it is possible to create a comfier ride. But can the gift of speed keep on giving?
So what's up with the umbrellas?
I'm planning to use them to paint a metaphorical picture. I want you to imagine that you are having a midlife crisis and you run out and spend a bunch of your dough on a really nice convertible sports car.
Okay.
Now, further imagine that you're driving it down the street and it starts to rain. What do?
You pull over and you put the top up.
Aha! That's where the fan site myth states that you might be wrong. That instead of wasting your time putting the top up, that you should floor it, go as fast as you can, because there is a speed at which you can drive that no rain will enter the driver's compartment.
Sounds kind of unsafe to me.
Sounds really fun to test to me.
Coming down the stretch for the final myth. Does putting your foot down keep you dry when you've got the top down?
So, does this mean we get to drive a fancy car really fast in the rain?
We do, but we are in sunny California, and that presents a little bit of a problem. We're gonna have to manufacture our own rain here.
It's a bit of a chore, but I think we can handle that. We still get to drive a really fancy car fast in the rain, though, right?
Yes, but slow down there, cowboy. I think perhaps we ought to take this model car and run some shop tests, sprinkle some water at it, look at it on high speed, see if there's anything at all to this myth.
And then we get to drive a really fancy car fast in the rain.
Okay, look, we'll get some driving lessons. We'll wet down some tarmac, we'll go out next thing and drive a fancy car, all right?
All right.
So to keep Rev Head Heineman happy, they've shelved the shop tests in favor of...
Well, the first thing on our agenda is to get some training in foul weather driving on wet roads. And in lovely sunny California, there's nothing better for that than a perfect sunny day.
But being the Boy Scouts that they are, they came prepared to make their own.
Oh, I made a rainbow. Look at that. This is gonna be fun.
That's the bad weather. So all we need now is a convertible car.
You've seen MythBusters before. You know that generally when we have cars, they explode. But not that one, I don't think. Pretty snappy.
I think I know what I want for Christmas this year.
Guiding the guys through their wet weather driving instruction is Brian Fraser.
Brian's the guy that trains anybody that drives an emergency vehicle how to do it right. That means police, fire, ambulances. Brian's the guy.
Take that understeer. Here you go. You let a little bit of steering out, you felt the catch.
Right.
If I had a car like that, I wouldn't be letting Adam drive it.
Harsh, but given Adam's track record, fair.
I might have gotten the microphone wet there for a second.
Despite Adam's best effort, the microphone still works. And they get down to business.
Well, the surface is now wet. We're going to lose that cohesion between the tires and the concrete surface. We're on a concrete pad out here today. Hydroplaning can also be a factor if we got standing water. Ways to deal with this are get off the gas, slow our speed down. It's going to multiply any reaction we do, so you want to not be jerky in your steering movements. So just smoothing out your steering and backing off speed can keep you in control of the car.
The clearest difference between driving on the wet ground versus the dry ground is that it's a lot slipperier.
I'm sorry about that.
Mostly this feels to me like getting a handle on where out of control is. That's the trick. Once you know where out of control is, you can back off from it. Or you can sneak up to it without getting in too much danger.
Just try to get a slide and shoot straight down that way. Turn in your... There you go.
I lost my hat.
We're just trying to get comfortable with this scenario so that if we hit something unknown out there on the testing site, we can recover safely.
And that's the key. By simply getting to grips with the car on a wet surface, they can be sure they won't lose their heads at high speeds on the real test, which means they are licensed for wet weather science.
That's
I
okay.
keep losing my hat.
But before they take it to the test track, they're heading back to base for preliminary shop tests.
So this is our scale testing rig for driving in the rain. And since it's about two things, wind and rain, we're creating both of those in a small scale. I've got a leaf blower here creating the wind over the car. I've got Jamie perched up there in the scissor lift. He's gonna be the rain. He's got a pressurized bottle of some blue dye so that we can actually see the raindrops.
Oh, that's nice.
Hopefully, if there's any validity to this myth, that the rain somehow, by the aerodynamics of the car going fast, won't get in the driver's compartment. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I would expect to see these blue raindrops coming down and the wind coming over the car, inhibiting them from continuing their journey onto the passengers in the convertible.
So they've got a convertible and they've got rain. To simulate driving through the rain, they've got a 15-mile-an-hour wind.
All right, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Followed by a small-scale hurricane with wind speeds of 30 miles an hour.
I almost feel like I'm driving it.
After which, Adam is confident this myth holds water.
I'm thinking that our scale tests are actually proving pretty fruitful.
There may be something to this.
We run 3 tests, and they're showing me what I would expect to see if this myth were actually true, i.e., we've run it with no wind and some rain, a slow speed wind, 15 miles per hour, and a high speed wind, 30 miles per hour. And I'm seeing what looks like a bubble forming over the driver's compartment where less rain seems to want to get into.
Yeah, it does show the rain kind of zipping over the cockpit, but I'm not that sure that the wind and the rain scale that well. We're going to have to do it full size.
I knew you were going to go there.
Well, it involves getting a sports car and driving really fast in it.
Cue the test track. And the boys are straight back to work at Alameda, raising a rainmaker so they have precipitation at the flick of a switch. And for that, they're going back to their movie roots.
Hollywood, like MythBusters, doesn't wait for ideal weather conditions. They make their own weather, and this device is one of the ways they do it. This is a rain bar.
Got it.
And it sprays water through a set of spouts. These spouts, there's 6 of them. And if what you want is torrential rain, it can deliver 1,200 gallons a minute. For us, it's going to be delivering a linear swath of rain 200 feet long.
So the team is ready for a dry run.
Well, everything's hooked up and in place, and the next thing we're going to do is a dribble test. We're just going to pressurize all the lines to the point where water starts dribbling out the rain heads because of several things.
This amount of rain is perfect for our test. It's just about 2 inches per hour.
One, that's a lot of weight of water, about 600 pounds per bar, and the weight distribution could change and they could swing, so we need to make sure we can control them. 2, there's a little bit of a west to east breeze here. We want to make sure the rain falls where the car is going to drive, so we might adjust our final bar position based on what we see here.
That's perfect.
With the rain ready to fall and the cameras ready to roll, it's time to bring in the star, the car.
Let's protect the upholstery and put in our rain collection gear.
Okay.
We modified this car in a couple of ways to turn it into a data collection device for this test. First, because it's a fancy car, we've protected the whole interior with absorbent fabric so that no water can damage the car. Second, to measure what water does get in the car, we've got these 2 boards, which is basically a piece of plywood faced with acrylic and tissue paper. Any water that hits this surface is going to create a nice dark spot that's easy to see, easy to count, and should give us a really nice comparative analysis of how much water's getting into the driver's compartment under the different conditions we're testing. Well, let's get to it.
Okay.
And by to it, they mean using their driving instructor as a human crash test guinea pig.
The biggest danger posed by this experiment is hydroplaning. That's where the car floats up on a cushion of water and you lose all control of it.
Okay, go, Rain and Brian.
So Brian, our safety trainer and driver, is actually going to take this run at 120 miles an hour across the rainy tarmac to make sure that it's safe for Jamie and I to do.
Brian's about to hit what's essentially a sluice-down skid pad at 120 miles an hour. This could be interesting.
Okay.
Out of control through 450 degrees is exactly why the expert was behind the wheel and not Adam or Jamie.
What happened there, buddy?
That's what we call hydroplaning.
Wow, that seemed quite intense.
It was very intense and a lot of fun.
I gotta say, Brian gets real props for that one. Looking at the footage, Brian's expression didn't change at all. He didn't flinch while he's spinning out of control around and around and around at 120 miles an hour.
So one thing's clear, these tests will be dangerous. Hitting a wet surface at higher than highway speeds has the potential to put you into a spin cycle.
How do you feel about it, Jamie?
He did it. I'll do it.
All right, you're all right with doing it?
We're going to be ramping it up for
We're going to
one
be
thing.
going like 55 normal highway speed, then we'll ramp that up to like 80, and this is about the top speed that we're going to go, about 120. So that's as bad as it's going to get.
Yeah.
But it looks like hydroplaning is guaranteed. First up is the control. See, the myth states that if it starts to rain, you're driving your convertible with the top down, you shouldn't waste your time putting it up. You should gun it, floor it, go as fast as you can. So of course we're gonna gun it, floor it, and go as fast as we can. But what do we compare that to? We compare it to the control, which is driving into a rainstorm, stopping, putting the top up, and seeing how much rain you gathered that way. Right, Jamie, here's your motivation. You're gonna be driving with your top down and it starts to rain. You're gonna stop while it's raining and put the top up. And to make it extra realistic for you, we're gonna make it rain. Got that? Right, knock 'em dead, Tiger.
With a direct line to the weather gods,
All right, stand by for pressure.
or at least John, the rain bar operator, Adam commences the rain.
Today's forecast, 70% chance of science.
Go ahead and pressure it up. Jamie, come on in.
Remember, this is a control for comparative purposes.
All right, now stop and put the top up. This looks awful.
If you're foolish enough to be driving with the roof down while there's a rainstorm imminent, we want to know how wet you will get in the time it takes to pop the top back on.
Now go ahead and drive off.
And it's pretty clear because that's one wet Heinemann.
How was that? Looks like you got soaked.
I think so.
Oh, look at our test boards. There's no drops to count. They're just 100% soaked. I don't know whether there's going to turn out to be something to driving really fast to keep the rain out of your convertible, but it's pretty clear that stopping at all, even to put the top up, is going to get you saturated with rain pretty quickly.
All right, now stop and put the top up.
Now that we've got a good control, it's time for some real testing. If there's any merit to this myth, we should see a lot less rain on our rain collection panels than last time.
On the next run, at 70 miles per hour, they're looking for physical evidence on the tissue paper rain detectors.
Here's my prediction. Take a look at the high speed after this run. I think what you'll see is a nice line of wind carrying water, creating a bubble over Jamie. All right, rainmakers, let's balance those bars. I think you're gonna see a lot less rain on these panels. Jamie, you may start your run now. This is 70 miles per hour, gunning it.
Gun it, Jamie does. Hitting his mark and holding steady at the target speed for the length of the course.
And cut the rain.
And with no hydroplaning or dangerous spin out, it's time to take in the results.
Whoa, look at that. Wow, that's far out. It looks like no rain at all hit the middle here. But we've got wetness up top here and on the left-hand side here. You know, I also happen to notice the splotch of water right here and the drops over here are on the windward side of the car, the direction from which the wind was blowing during your run. The wind obviously affected it.
It's important to note that whatever little water came in here on the 70-mile-an-hour run was a tiny, tiny fraction of what came in on the control.
Totally. I predicted that there'd be less rain in the car on this run. Not nearly this little. There really seems to be something to this myth.
A conviction only confirmed by the high-speed camera.
That's really clear. It's like there's a line. It's a really visible bubble, isn't it?
Yes, that's what the windshield's for.
So it would seem.
Looking at the high-speed camera, it was clear that all of the water that was hitting the car was going over the top of the interior of the car. There was hardly any that entered the car, and what did was from some kind of turbulence going around the outside of the car.
But the guys aren't done yet. After all, the theme is speed, and Adam's still feeling the need.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we should go for 100 miles an hour and see if we can get those boards to stay bone dry.
I'd go ahead and leave the traction control on.
But Brian, our safety driver, is concerned, as the test track is now taking an additional soaking from some real rain. So he suggests putting a lid on at 90 miles per hour.
Try to counter steer it, but if you can't, let it go.
Got it. I've got to do this test at 90 miles an hour. Hydroplaning at those kinds of speeds is a serious deal. I might remind you what happened to Brian earlier at 120. 90 miles an hour is pretty fast. I'll keep my fingers crossed that I don't spin out like he did.
90 miles an hour?
90 miles an hour.
90 miles an hour. Let's do it.
Let's go to full pressure.
I am set and ready to go.
Awesome. Jamie, you may start your 90-mile-an-hour run now. Let it rip. And cut the rain. Nice work, Jamie. You didn't hydroplane. Awesome. Let's open this top and see how we did. Ho, 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 ho! Dude, look at that. This is what I call a result.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. These things, bone dry.
We wanted to find out whether driving fast when it's raining will actually keep you dry, and it turns out it does. Around 25 miles an hour or so, it's not so effective, but as you go faster, it actually does deflect most of the rain. Now, it's not that hard to understand, really, because the rain's coming down like this. If you're going this way and you've got something in front of you, then it's going to catch all the rain and send it up over the top of you. You stay dry.
So it does make sense to gun it. The faster, the better, in fact.
Yeah, you might die in the process, but...
You'll be dry.
You'll be dry.
This is a conundrum, because I don't feel like it's right to call this one confirmed.
Yeah, driving really fast in the rain can be very dangerous.
How about plausible, but not recommended?
I'll buy that.
So, thanks to the MythBusters' celerity, we now know that extreme speed isn't always what you need. While hurtling over rough roads does yield a smoother ride, going hell for leather is not the answer if you're trying to avoid a ticket. And yes, driving like lightning could keep you dry in a storm. But that solution's best left at the test track.
I tell you, I think these umbrellas are a totally reasonable compromise.
To a convertible?
Yeah.
A really fast convertible? No. I don't think so. They're already about ready to take off.
Yeah. Don't try this at home. Whoa! 3, 2, 1, let's go.
In this souped-up series of MythBusters,
there's so many things that could go wrong right now.
The team is taking it to the test track.
If I knew what was going to happen, we wouldn't be doing the test.
To tackle everything from fuel economy,
your results may differ,
to stunts.
Get out, get out, get out!
And speed.
Let's drive!
They're throwing it in reverse, slamming the brakes, and driving downright dangerously.
I'm gone in a puff of smoke.
So you don't have to. Discover the science behind the most legendary automotive myths. Buckle up for Motor MythBusters Test Track. In this program,
he disappeared in a cloud of smoke.
Our investigation is where the rubber meets the road.
I have always wanted to do that.
Adam and Jamie test mythical ways of fixing a flat.
No! No!
Then they literally reinvent the wheel.
He's just as happy as I am.
To see if square wheels...
Our lives have officially become a cartoon.
...can give you a smooth ride. But first, the team is burning rubber.
Race Prep V8 that's running at about 375 horsepower.
To find out if a tire can really catch fire.
You know when you burn rubber on a car?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of smoke, right? They say where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what this next myth is about.
If you spin a car tire fast enough and for long enough, it'll actually catch fire.
You bet. How do you want to test it?
I can't see that it gets much simpler than this one. We get a nice, powerful car and a bunch of tires, secure the brakes in the car so it doesn't get out of control, some temperature monitoring equipment for seeing how hot it's getting, and we spin and burn those tires until we get some fire.
I like it.
I thought you would.
Cavemen first used friction to make fire. But can the same thing happen when rubber meets the road? To find out, the guys have flexed out a muscle car with enough grunt to spin the tires fast enough to maybe burn rubber. Today's test track, the local police training center.
Well, this myth is pretty simple. The myth is that if you're doing a tire burnout, i.e. screeching your tires on the pavement, that you can get them going fast enough that they will burst into flames. I think the testing for this is pretty straightforward.
First up, pedal to the metal. Heinemann wants to put the car through its paces. He's heard the officers here are fond of donuts.
He disappeared in a cloud of smoke.
Amid the smoke, it's clear that the car's got the grunt that this myth needs.
It looks like a nice car. In fact, it's a lot nicer than it looks. In there is a race-prepped V8 that's running at about 375 horsepower. This is one of the most powerful cars we've ever been allowed to abuse. We're going to enjoy the moment.
The plan for testing is to keep the car stationary.
I'm gonna goose the front up just a little bit.
Then they'll rev the engine until they get a tire of fire or the car cracks up. As plans go, it's pretty simple. But Adam and Jamie are following that old MythBusters adage, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
That ought to do it if it's going to work at all.
I'll explain our rig. This, our test car, has a super powerful engine, and it's only going to be spinning this tire. We've got no tire on the other side and a jack stand. The front two wheels are off the ground, lifted by the forklift, and strapped in so that even when this thing is going full bore, the car can't get out of control. Jamie's built an exhaust system to vent smoke and flames away from the tire when it's going. We'll be behind the blast chamber section in case bits start flying off. First up, just spin the tire and see what happens.
A ruptured fuel line or spark could indeed start a fire. But how about just friction alone? Well, Jamie, for one, has his doubts.
Personally, I'm guessing that we'll disintegrate the tire before we get there, but that's what we're here to find out.
All right, were you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's turn on the scrubbers, get behind the wheel, wait for my signal, and we'll start the first test.
Got it. We're looking to create a fire here. Now, for a fire, we need three things. We need a fuel, which in this case is the tire. We need a source of oxygen, which is the air around us. But for the ignition, we are going to be using the heat generated by the friction between the tire and the road surface. The question is, can we get that tire hot enough to create that source of ignition? And it's got to be really hot.
And really hot, in this case, is 300 degrees Celsius, the ignition point of rubber.
This is spinning tire fire. Tire with no modifications. Go.
Jamie redlines the engine for over a minute. But there's no sign of flame. And with the car at full tilt, the question is, what will blow first, the tire or the engine?
Oh! Stop!
And there's your answer.
Shut it down, Denny.
The high-speed camera reveals how the tire burst before it could ignite. But a short time later, there's a sizzling surprise on the test track.
It may have taken 35 minutes, but we got some burning rubber.
Remarkably, the powdered rubber shed by the tire has ignited half an hour after the test.
That sucker's gotten hot in the last half hour.
The flames fuel Adam's optimism.
What we saw in this tire dust after Jamie burned the rubber was smoldering smoke. That was small particles of this acting kind of like coals in a barbecue. They were being converted to smoke by heat, and enough of them propagated that while we were eating lunch, the thing caught on fire.
To me, that means that the elements for tire ignition are here. They're just maybe not all in the right place at the right time for us.
If they can find a way to ignite the rubber while it's still on the tire, then maybe this myth is more fact than friction.
So we did get the tire burned. It just took a little longer than we thought, like about an hour.
Exactly. We just have to shorten that timestamp, and I think we're good. Let's put it out.
And Adam's got an idea to shorten that time span on their next spin.
If we get the tires spinning up really fast, we got some really hot temperatures, and then we add sparks, which could happen if a piece of equipment's dragging from the bottom of the car, maybe that is going to get us the ignition we're looking for.
Bright Spark Adam has rigged an angle grinder to a sheet of metal to get more sparks than the 4th of July.
It'll do that for about 45 or 55 seconds.
Once more, Jamie climbs into the hot seat, at this time with an oxygen mask.
All right, dude, you're good to go. I'll start the sparks once you start to burn. Yeah, we got sparks going. It's like we're being transported to a mystical land.
2 minutes and the tire hasn't blown. Jamie floors the V8 once more.
All right, he's really meaning it now. Oh, there we go.
The tire is totally total. But even with sparks, once again, no fire. This myth is looking more than a little rubbery. So for the final test, they'll throw everything at the tire.
We tried the regular old tire, we tried tire plus sparks, and we still have not got a burning tire. I think you'd agree with me that it's time to add some fossil fuels, and that's what's hanging in that bag over there, which leads to a tube and a stopcock and goes all the way under the car to an outlet right here. Gas, fumes, and sparks. If this doesn't get the tire burning, it's just not gonna happen.
It's an old MythBusters standby. When in doubt, add accelerant.
All right, gas plus sparks. I'm gonna start the gasoline. Go! This blast chamber is great for debris, not so great for smoke.
After 90 seconds, there's been no shortage of smoke, but no flames yet.
We've got gasoline pouring on the tire while it's spinning and sparks shooting on the gasoline-soaked tire. I still don't think we're getting burning rubber.
Gas fumes and sparks. Should be an explosive mix. Something here doesn't add up.
I think that's about it. Jamie, are you all right? I'm all right. He's all right. He's breathing oxygen. How was that for you?
Seemed like it took forever. Did we get any kind of fire?
We didn't get any kind of fire. We had sparks shooting right on the gasoline, and the smoke was everywhere. We gave it every kind of bad situation a car could find itself in. Accelerants on the ground, sparks shooting, tires spinning until it bursts, and we didn't get a burning tire.
And Jamie's got a theory as to why.
So it seems to me that the wind coming off of the tire as it was spinning was keeping the gasoline from igniting.
Yeah, totally.
Turns out that the turbulence caused by the spinning prevented any sort of ignition, meaning that the tire effectively has its own fire prevention system. And that means it's time to retire this myth for good.
Well, I guess this means it's busted.
That's totally busted.
For their next rubber-related romance, Jamie's got a really good idea to reinvent the wheel.
Hey, what you doing?
Daydreaming.
What does a Heinemann daydream about?
Square wheels. Like, what if you put square wheels on a truck?
I would imagine it would give you the roughest possible ride. It would be the clunkiest imaginable ride.
Well, it would in the start, but if you went fast enough, it'd eventually smooth out, wouldn't it?
You're wondering how fast you have to drive with square wheels in order to get a smooth ride.
Yeah.
That's great. I think we should put it to the test.
According to the myth, at a fast enough speed, the difference between square and round wheels would disappear. But can this really be true? Or is this a myth that's headed back to, wait for it, square one?
What's your plan for these square wheels?
Well, pretty much everything that we need for this is going to be really abused. So the wheels we're going to have to design to be able to take all of the stress The truck's going to have to be really heavy duty. It's going to have to be four-wheel drive and have a big, torquey engine in it.
Super beefy wheels, super beefy truck. I think we should also add in there some nice objective way of measuring the smoothness of the ride we get. Like we compare it to a round-wheel drive and see how close we can get.
Instrumentation.
Precisely.
Okay. What I'm trying to figure out here is that if we took a wheel like this and changed it into something shaped more like this, a square, how fast would we have to go to stay on the corners like so and actually end up with a smooth ride? Whether that's possible or not, at what speed that occurs, that's what we're trying to find out.
Yep, they're reinventing the wheel and have come up with a design that's reinforced at the center and corners. It's incredibly complex, and with so many individual pieces of steel, it'll need to be laser cut. And thanks to the magic of television,
our parts are here.
They're here.
That takes no time at all.
That is gorgeous. Man, those are so pretty.
Let's set one up.
Okay, these come in like this. This goes here. This is from years of building Legos without looking at the instructions. These laser cut parts are absolutely gorgeous. They're coming together beautifully, and Jamie and I have quite an efficient little assembly line going here. You can't tell, but he's just as happy as I am.
And once the MythBusters get their heads down, their hubs are soon looking like the wheel deal.
Nice.
Want to grab a side? Let's put it on the ground.
Yeah, this is how the tire goes on, right?
Hopefully. That has a satisfying ring to it, doesn't it?
It really does. It rings like a bell. It's so pretty.
I'll be right back.
Jamie's on a roll. Next off the production line,
I hope it works.
a set of custom tires. And they're all ready for the rubber.
How's it look?
To meet the rim.
Much better.
Dude.
I was able to just put it on by hand.
Wow.
That is a square wheel.
Thanks to their ingenuity and hard work, the MythBusters have squared the circle.
Doing that makes me nervous.
Now they can load up and hit the road.
Get out of here.
For a familiar test track.
I love this tarmac.
Nice day for a bouncy ride, huh?
Absolutely it is. Let's get started.
To objectively determine just how bumpy the ride is, the team is installing electronic sensors.
Good to go.
To track the vibration on the suspension, the steering column, and of course, the passengers. And with the test track set,
that looks festive.
They'll be put to use first in the round wheel control.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. Feels like a pretty nice ride so far.
As it should be.
Yeah.
55.
55.
And 60.
60 miles an hour. Feels pretty smooth. I think we got a good metric.
Yeah.
Bring it to a halt and head back to home base. Throw some square wheels on this puppy.
Unsurprisingly, the traditional wheels provide a comfortable ride. Something that's backed up by the sensors.
Guys,
We get anything good?
absolutely. So we see went up to about 60 miles an hour. Steering column and the seat pad are nice low levels of vibration as we'd expect.
That looks like a really good baseline.
Yep, we expect this to go way up with the square wheels, I'd say.
So do we.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it.
With the baseline set, it's time for the weirdest wheel change in automobile history.
This is so wrong. And yet it feels so right. The obscenity begins.
You know, I don't think you'd need a parking brake with these things.
You no need to curb your wheels on a hill.
No.
No.
All four wheels are mounted and flat to the ground. But will they even turn? Let alone get up to a speed that could be smooth.
I don't think we're going to get a smooth ride out of these square wheels. But more than that, with all of them flat, I seriously imagine that the first quarter turn, the first time the truck boonk and lands on that second part of the square, the truck may look at that as an accident and just shut down. We might not even get more than 1/4 turn on this test.
Well, as the other MythBusters mantra goes, there's only one way to find out. But that's a way that first involves a suit up for safety. Because with the world's first set of square wheels doing the spinning, the MythBusters are taking no chances.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Square wheels, smooth ride. All 4 wheels flat. In 3, 2, 1, go.
They're off to a bumpy start.
Whoa! Hey! That smooth right out.
But as Jamie accelerates, the ride seems to get smoother.
Ooh, that's a... Whoa!
At least until it suddenly stops altogether.
Something's dreadfully wrong.
Yeah, we're sitting sideways.
We're sitting sideways and we're not level.
I know.
Whoa! Oh, crap, Jamie. It's bad. Well, there's your problem.
What happened?
We sheared everything out of that wheel hub.
All the bolts.
All of them.
Well, at least it didn't ruin the wheels.
Yeah, exactly. The term of art for that is one hell of a ride. For about 5 seconds there, it felt like we were actually getting something approaching a smooth ride. And then everything fell apart. The fact is, this is one of the most powerful trucks we could get our hands on, and driving with all 4 wheels flat, just too much for it.
In that 15-second window, the wheels did get up enough speed to spin corner to corner. But do the sensors confirm that it was smoothing out?
All right, Scott, what do you got for us?
Well, you can definitely see some trends here. As the speed goes up, the vertical acceleration in the suspension is definitely going down. If I go to the steering column, see the same trend. As the speed goes up, vibrational energy definitely goes down.
So can we call it, was that our smooth ride?
Well, it started to smooth out, but then the truck broke and the wheel came off.
Yeah, that was almost bone-shattering. But it occurs to me, what if instead of all wheels being flat, we offset 2 of them to a 45-degree angle? Increasing the periodicity of the points hitting the ground might make the ride smoother and easier on the truck.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I start to worry that making things less symmetrical like that might set up some sort of an oscillation and a certain orientation that would end up flipping the truck, and that'd suck.
You're totally right. That then says to me that we want to do some small-scale testing. Try different wheel orientations and see which one we feel is both the safest for us, but also might be easiest on the truck.
I agree.
Okay.
After a bone-shaking ride with all 4 wheels in the same orientation, it's time to experiment with some different configurations.
Now this is the orientation we had our wheels in for our most recent ride, and a bumpy ride it was. But this is not the only orientation we need to have our 4 wheels. We could mount 2 of our wheels at a 45-degree offset to the other 2, thus doubling the frequency with which one of the points of the squares hits the ground for every rotation. Or we could offset each wheel by 22.5 degrees for every rotation, thus quadrupling the frequency with which one of the points hits the ground. Which one of these is going to give us the smoothest ride? I haven't the slightest idea. That's why we're about to test this in small scale.
And for that, they'll need a set of wheels. So Adam brings this out of the woodwork.
I think that's a good start.
Then it's time to tune up the treadmill to give it a run.
All right, let's try this.
First off, a little recap of why 4 in-sync wheels are so uncomfortable.
Ow.
But will offsetting the wheels by 45 degrees decrease the jolt factor?
Much better.
Wow. I didn't expect that to be so nice.
Let's ramp it up.
All right.
2 wheels offset diagonally at 45 degrees is a clear improvement.
Yeah!
But will the 22.5-degree combination be even better?
The way this works is that one's always flat, one's always at 45, and the other 2 are in the middle.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's the oscillation I was worried about.
Yeah.
That's what we don't want to do, because that's what is going to flip the truck at speed.
A closer look at the 22.5 proves that the chassis is bouncing up and down and side to side, making the 45-degree offset the most stable configuration.
Our small-scale test showed that the best configuration was to have two opposing corners with their points down, the opposite two corners with their flats down. That balances things out the best, and so that's what we're going to do full scale.
So it's back to the test track for take 2.
Our lives have officially become a cartoon.
With the wheel hubs back in shape after their last outing, it's time for the truck to get squared.
There it is.
This time, 2 diagonal wheels are offset by 45 degrees.
Our creation, she's ready to take life.
With the sensors mounted and the MythBusters wrapped up in their safety gear,
All right, sir, you ready for this?
Ready as I'll ever be.
will they get that smoother ride, fair and square?
Square wheels, smooth ride, 45-degree diamond formation, and 3, 2, 1, go! Oh! Whoa! Yeah! Come on, baby! Oh, that's not bad!
To begin with, the offset wheels are smoother.
Yeah! Holy... Wow!
And as lead-footed Heinemann gets the truck up to speed,
Dude, this is not bad! 18 miles per hour! Keep going! Wow! Come on, faster!
it continues to improve. That is, until the wheels can take it no more.
Wow! Wow! That was intense. That wasn't half bad when you got up to 20 miles an hour.
I got no brakes, though. I think the truck didn't like it too much.
I don't think it did either. Did we lose all 4 tires?
I think so, although one of them just sort of stayed on the truck and just not on the wheel.
Once we were up to speed, once we were up to the fastest speed we could get, which turns out to be about 18 miles an hour, I have to admit that I am impressed with how smooth that ride was. It was smoother than I thought it was going to be. Let's put it that way.
Adam thinks the ride evened out, but was it enough to ever be called smooth?
So how does the data look?
Well, here's your speed in red, and you can see where you kind of slowed down and there's a lot of vibration. As you sped up, the vibration of the steering column really starts to trend off.
Well, that's pretty much just what we felt in the cab.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The ride was progressively smoother, but it was also progressively destructive, with the tires and brake pads coming off completely.
Well, that was one of the worst things that ever happened to that car.
It was fun, though.
Absolutely.
It does make me think, though.
You got an idea?
I do.
Awesome.
Okay, so while square wheels might not be the most practical choice on the tarmac, they did begin to smooth out at pace. And Jamie's got an idea to test how the 4-sided rubber rims might come into their own.
Oh! Whoa! Yeah!
So they've repoed to the waste management facility in Altamont.
This is like the weirdest sport ever. Sorry. It's like bowling towards a Hoosier with witches' hats. I don't know what you would call that.
Where the guys are setting up a dirt road test track.
It looks great from here, Jamie.
Good. Let's face it, there's a very good reason they don't put square wheels on cars.
Come on, faster!
But you know, that started me thinking. Maybe there are circumstances where square wheels would be the best thing. Like, what if you had a really steep hill covered with loose dirt that you wanted to climb?
And that is where this comes in. A smooth slope leading to an almost vertical wall and filled with loose dirt. This is the ultimate testing ground to compare the efficacy of square wheels versus round wheels.
50 feet high with varying degrees of steepness.
This ought to be fun.
This hill is exactly the kind of off-road conditions for the ultimate test of the MythBusters square wheels.
Here's how this test is gonna go. First, we're gonna take the truck with its round wheels and we're gonna drive it up that slope as far as we can make it. Let's say we make it about halfway up. Editors, will you give me a dotted line halfway up the slope? Thank you. Then we're gonna bolt the square wheels to the truck and we're going to take the same slope and see if we can make it farther. If we can, We have literally reinvented the wheel. Well, I think everything's in place. Shall we suit up and do the round wheel test?
I don't see why not.
All right. If we can't, we've just proven what we already suspected. Square wheels are stupid.
It's a simple plan.
You ready?
I am now.
And it all comes down to Jamie's theory on why square wheels could work better on loose ground.
When it comes to soft surfaces, the thing about round wheels is that all of the weight of the vehicle is right here where it contacts the ground. The PSI there is very high. That means that it'll easily sink through soft stuff and get buried. Also, as it tries to roll forward, it tends to plow that soft stuff ahead of it, which makes it hard to climb out of things. On the other hand, our square wheel has this entire surface contacting the ground, which means that the PSI is going to be a small fraction of what it would be under a round tire. And then when you try to move forward, instead of just plowing into the dirt, it's going to actually cut into it and actually lever the whole vehicle ahead. At least that's the theory.
That's the theory, so it's time to get trucking.
Round wheel hill climbing control test in 3, 2, 1.
Think that's as high as you can go?
I think so.
That's pretty darn high.
Yep.
Halfway up the hill, and the round wheels can't get a grip on the loose earth. So the benchmark to beat has been set.
What do we do now?
I don't know.
Back down slowly?
If I can. Ooh.
Which means the MythBusters must return to the start line
Oh, oh, oh! That is intense.
and swap out their wheels.
It's like one of those, what are we doing moments.
I think we have more of those moments than we do the normal ones.
Well, it's now or never. Can the square wheels make it past halfway and make a molehill out of a mountain?
You scared?
Nah. Just a little hill. And we've got square wheels.
Exactly. This is Square Wheels, the final hill climb. And 3, 2, 1, go! Oh yeah, come on, man. Yes, 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 come on. Break that line, break it. Yes, oh, come on, faster, more.
No.
Ah!
Just like the round wheels, the spinning square wheels can't get purchase on the loose ground.
All right, we're going up real slow now. Hill climbing and square wheels. Go.
So for take 2, the Heinemann goes for a slow and steady approach.
This is promising. You're moving forward. So I'm moving forward.
You know what?
What?
I don't think they're working.
I don't think they're working either. We tied at best. We touched the tape. But I don't know if we can beat it.
I don't think we can.
I think you just gotta face it. Square wheels are just plain stupid.
It seems the MythBusters had to reinvent the wheel to discover that square wheels are just too, well, square.
Woo. We made it exactly as far up this hill as we did in our round wheels. I can't think of any better test to demonstrate that there isn't really a specific advantage to the square tires.
Well, there you have it. At best, our square wheels did the same job the round wheels did on this course. I gotta say, I'm disappointed in it, though, because I really think there's something to these wheels. There may be other environments out there where they would actually prove superior to round wheels, but as of this point, they're not. So how do you want to call this? Do square wheels give you a smooth ride?
Well, as ridiculous as it may seem, I think we gotta call that one plausible.
What about hill climbing?
That one, not so much. The square wheels didn't provide any kind of significant advantage over the round wheels.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
You wanna drive back to the shop?
Now, let's walk. It's more comfortable.
Okay.
While we wait for Jamie to find the wheelhouse for his square rims, Adam has a real-world scenario for their final foray into the rubber revolution.
All right, Jamie, I'm gonna paint you a picture.
You've driven out to the middle of nowhere to go backwoods camping. You've hiked out into the wilderness, and at the end of the weekend, you hike back to your car to find, oh, you got a flat tire. What do?
I put on the spare.
You don't have a spare.
I call a tow truck.
Nope, no cell phone reception.
I walk out.
Nope, walking is not an option. You have to somehow make that flat tire into a workable wheel. What do?
I improvise.
Exactly. That's what this story is about. Improvised solutions to making a flat tire into a workable wheel in the wilderness.
Well, what say we go to the great outdoors and set up a course then?
A course that would include all the different obstacles one might encounter trying to get themselves out of a jam.
Exactly.
To test the myth that you can fix a flat using elements from Mother Nature, the team is headed for the hills.
In order to run our tire fixes through their paces, we've chosen a course in this off-road facility that'll give us the widest range of standard road hazards you might encounter in just this kind of setting.
And the perfect setting calls for the perfect car.
This is our test car. It is an average, ordinary, everyday sedan, and that's the point. This story is about an ordinary car out for an ordinary drive when things go sour and an extraordinary solution is required.
To put the makeshift spare through its paces, the guys have a 2-mile test track, complete with water hazards, speed bumps, and potholes. So all they need now is to acquire a flat tire.
I have always wanted to do that.
What are we gonna do? We got a flat tire.
So here's the drill. You're out in nature, miles from the road, with a flat tire and no spare. Pop quiz, hotshot. What do?
What you do is improvise. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make our equivalent of a run-flat tire out of stuff at hand, like vegetation or straw.
Yep, this fix is literally the last straw.
I just happen to have a lovely garage jack.
They're stuffing the cut-open tire.
Now that's what I'm thinking.
Well, let's just see how far we get with that.
Before delivering their own collection of tired puns.
I thought with the flat in the wilds, we'd be grasping at straws, but this is giving me high hopes.
Well, hey, if it works.
With Mark Twain turning in his grave, the guys reattach the wheel.
Hey, that's not bad.
Before stuffing in more straw until the tire is fit to burst.
Well, that's the last straw.
Now it's time for our straw-filled tire test. How do I think it's going to go? Well, I'm positive that having straw in this tire is going to be better than if we just had a normal flat tire. How long it actually lasts and whether the straw stays in there is the only worry that I have, and the only way to find that out is to test it.
And for that test, the guys are going to drive one complete lap of their warts and all circuit. But will the straw stand up to the challenge?
Let's get out of trouble.
Sensibly, Jamie starts slow.
How does it feel?
It feels a little spongy, but it seems like it's working.
But once they survive the speed bump...
It bottomed out there.
And the pothole...
Oh! Yeah, that went fine, too.
Totally fine.
He's confident enough to speed up.
Through the puddle.
And halfway around the test track, the hay is hanging in nicely.
Definitely a very reasonable escape plan so far. Let's go uphill.
Amazingly, the straw tire stands up to whatever stands in its way.
No problem.
We can make it home.
At least until Jamie tries to end with a bang.
Very, very well done.
Whoa, it looks a little different.
I had high hopes for the hay, and my hopes were not misplaced. It performed fantastically. It went through the obstacle course pretty much without a hitch. You could feel it deteriorating. My feeling is you're using this to get out of a jam. Hay, in this case, would absolutely get you out of this jam.
Very nicely done. Well, as a fix, I'm calling hay plausible.
Yeah, only a short-term one, though.
Agreed.
The success of the MythBusters stuffed tire has got the guys a thinking.
I don't think we're done fixing flats.
What do you have in mind?
I would like to redo this test, but in an urban environment.
Go on.
Well, imagine you're in a city and you've got a flat tire. Calling a mechanic is totally not an option. But around you, you've got all the things you might find in a city. Metal, glass, and wood, and you've got to use those to improvise a working wheel.
I like it. Let's set it up.
Okay.
So it's back to their favorite test track.
While you may see a lovely view of San Francisco behind me through the fog, an empty runway, and 100 or so cones, I see an urban obstacle course in Potentia.
Adam and Jamie will each focus on their own urban fix. But first, they need to conjure up a cityscape crash course, like this one.
This is the start point for our urban driving course. Now, the first goal we have here is to try to achieve a top speed of 40 miles an hour down the course, and then stop before we hit the wall of buckets.
Why the wall of buckets? Well, in an urban environment, you need to be able to speed up and slow down quickly because you could hit something. On the theory that our wheel solutions may not allow us to do that, I've built a wall that we can hit safely. Each of these 5-gallon buckets is quarter full of water, so when we hit it, instead of totaling our car, we spill a little water.
Next up is the slalom. The goal here is to snake our way back through this course without losing control.
The slalom ends here, where in the final test of urban driving, we will have to parallel park our car between these two blue cars. That is, if we make it that far.
And with everything set, the urban fixin' can commence, starting with Jamie.
Technically, there's nothing stopping you from rolling on a flat tire, other than sooner or later you're going to cut through it and you'll end up on the steel rim. So I figure, let's just try rolling on the steel rim.
It's a typically simple solution from the Heinemann. Wrenching a tire from its rim, and then attaching that rim to the wheelbase. Job done, in theory.
As far as riding on a steel rim is concerned, we've got a couple of things to be concerned about. And the first is balance. This steel rim is a lot smaller than a normal tire, and so it makes the car kind of lopsided. The other thing is that the steel is not going to grip the road as well as a rubber tire will, and so we've got traction issues. Whether either of these things turn out to be a problem as far as handling, that's what we're going to run the course to find out.
Steel rim, no tire. In 3, 2, 1. All right, go. Oh.
As per Jamie's prediction, the terrible traction makes for a slow start.
Oh, feel that acceleration.
Which means reaching the required speed.
Come on, you gotta get to 40 miles an hour.
Before braking ahead of the wall.
Come on, almost there.
Is seriously challenging.
Stop, stop. Nice. All right, right turn.
But having not hit the wall,
Into the slalom.
Jamie scrapes towards the slalom.
Faster, you can do it faster than that. That's it. Yeah.
Where, despite trying to stay on track, he soon gets into a spin.
Woo, woo, oh, yes, yes.
But after a quick recovery, all that's left is the parallel park.
You park like my grandmother.
Where slow and steady puts Jamie's rim back on the road to success.
Nice.
Handling on the steel rim turned out to be not half bad. You just can't accelerate very fast, but I reckon you could go a fair distance on it.
Well, somewhere there's probably a law against leaving massive scratches in the road. But as far as getting yourself out of a jam, I'm thinking that the steel rim worked pretty great. I'd totally go with it.
With Jamie's rim firing on nearly all cylinders, can Adam's mythical fix do any better?
It's round. It's metal. I think it's perfect.
Without a mechanic to call or a genuine spare to prepare,
it's frickin' heavy.
Adam's adamant that this manhole is the perfect wheel stand-in.
Look at how well that size matches. I have a good feeling about the manhole cover.
Being almost identical in size to a real wheel, all Adam has to do is cut out some boat holes and then bolted on. But will it be better than Jamie's rim?
Now that's a tire.
Check out your dubs, homie.
What do you think of that?
I like it. The manhole cover seems like it's a perfect fit, but the problem is it's only an inch wide, therefore it's not going to get traction. The other thing is that it's made out of cast iron, and that is inherently kind of brittle. So if this puppy hits some kind of a rock or a serious bump, we've got a big problem.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Cast iron manhole cover wheel in 3, 2, 1, go!
Despite a spark-spinning burnout start,
Oh yeah, burn it, yeah, yo, you're really losing energy. Here we go, come on.
the vehicle gains traction and Adam gets up to speed.
You're going 40.
And back with relative ease.
Now the slalom.
Oh yeah, now we got it.
Because the manhole is such a good-sized fit, the car's balance is much better,
That actually corners fairly
Yeah,
well.
it does.
making handling much less of a handful.
That's it. Come on, baby.
And when Adam's parallel park misses the mark,
Oh,
What was that you said about my parallel parking?
it's simply operator error.
whoa!
Sorry.
And we're done. Check out this wheel. It's perfect. I abused the crap out of that thing, and there's not a thing wrong with it. I am really impressed with the manhole cover. Traction was a problem, but this thing held up to the most abuse I could throw at it in the slalom and came back for more.
I like the manhole cover. It's got style. You know, worked great. I'd say it's plausible.
Plausible it is, and you know what? It's given me some ideas.
Ever the competitor, Adam wants to know which urban tire solution is superior. So with Jamie in the original
It's done!
and Adam in a car of his own design, they'll go head-to-head on the test track in a four-wheel fix finale.
Shall we change these puppies out?
Yeah.
You like my paint job?
You know how I love a good flame pattern. The plan is simple. I'm going to put 4 steel rims on my car. Adam's going to put 4 manhole covers on his car, and we're going to race. We'll just see who does better.
With a winner-takes-all course featuring slaloms, barriers, and the bunting,
Oh, that's a proper speedway.
Adam is confident.
This contest is pretty simple. The low rider versus the knife rider. Slicing through the night. I think the outcome's gonna be pretty simple too. I think I, in the flaming car, am gonna smoke the Hoosier.
But Jamie's a man with a plan.
Just like with rubber tires, these steel wheels will lose traction if they break free. So the key to success here is going to be for me to ride the accelerator so that I don't lose traction, but I actually do get up speed.
Jamie's right. This track race is all about traction.
Okay, rims versus manhole covers.
Whoever has more will take the title.
In 3, 2, 1.
And right from the get-go,
Oh, he's way ahead of me. Come on.
Jamie takes a commanding lead,
Yeah, baby.
while Adam has just a fraction of the traction.
Oh, no.
And although Jamie doesn't have enough control to steer clear of the crash barrier, he is beating Adam hands down.
Well, that didn't go at all like I expected. Not only did I get no traction and couldn't get up to speed, but once I did, I had very little control, careened right into the water pyramid. And on the slalom, I'm spinning 360, 720s. I have absolutely no traction with these manhole covers. No! No! As I'm doing this, I'm watching Jamie serenely, like the turtle from that cartoon, slow and steady, making his way unnervingly around all of the slalom cones. And then he goes through the finish line and insouciantly turns around and waits for me.
watches me spin out and slowly make my way all the way to the finish line 19 seconds later.
Well, Adam said he was going to smoke me, but I don't think so. I actually whooped him. I also was really surprised because I thought he had more traction than I did. Turns out he didn't.
Ain't that the truth? The manholes, impeded by their narrow nature, were next to useless.
The rims win.
Just goes to show a little ingenuity will take you a long way, huh?
It sure will. Let's get out of here.
And so the rubber meets the end of the road,
I think that's about it.
with the MythBusters proving
Oh, through the puddle.
you can make hay while the sun shines.
You can make it home.
Square is no better than fair. A spinning tire won't catch fire. And if you run out of rubber, you can still run at the test track.
Please do not try what you're about to see at home.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
In this souped-up series of MythBusters,
There's so many things that could go wrong right now.
the team is taking it to the test track
If I knew what was going to happen, we wouldn't be doing the test.
to tackle everything from fuel economy
Your results may differ.
to stunts
Get out, get out, get out!
and speed.
Let's drive!
They're throwing it in reverse, slamming the brakes, and driving downright dangerously
I'm gone in a puff of smoke.
so you don't have to. Get ready to uncover the truth about automotive legends and myths. Buckle up for Motor MythBusters Test Track. In this program,
That is so much fun.
a deep dive into driving dangerously.
Can we stop using the word failure and just be like, I didn't succeed?
We test talking on the cell versus driving under the influence.
Officer, would you owe me a beer?
This is just wrong.
Does daring footwear
Whoa. Okay, that was different.
make you deadly behind the wheel?
Oh, hey. Humans weren't meant to wear these things.
Kill the lights.
Grant, Tori, and Jesse go lights out to see if driving in the dark
It's going to be really, really crazy.
is as risky as it sounds. And Adam and Jamie get lit
I don't know if I've ever had a drink this early in the day.
to try to beat the breathalyzer.
This is definitely going to be a strange day.
Well, this is a first.
What's that, doing a blueprint in the dark?
Yes, but also a myth about smuggling in the dark. And we're not talking about your old-timey Barbary Coast pirates. We're talking about modern-day smuggling.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, according to the viewers, what people are doing is trying to get, let's say, maple syrup across the Canadian border to the United States. And what they'll do is they'll pick a very low-key border crossing and they'll wait till nightfall. Not just any night, very cold, dark, wintry night where it's almost pitch black. They go through the border and they do their entire journey in complete darkness. And bam, you're a smuggler.
All right, so the myth that we're testing here is, can you drive in the dark without your headlights at speeds and still not hit anything?
Sounds like fun to me.
It's a technique that's been said to be used by smugglers. Turn the headlights off, hit the gas, and race past the border with no one the wiser. But can it be done in the near pitch dark without coming a cropper?
I don't know about this one, you guys. I mean, I have my doubts. It's like, yeah, your eyes can adjust to the dark in 20 minutes, but I mean, are they gonna be able to process images just as fast and as accurately as if you had your headlights on?
Well, that's what we gotta find out, right?
Why don't we do this? We'll do our experiment at an indoor go-kart track. That way, we'll have control over the light levels at all times. Then we can do one run with headlights and compare it to a run in complete darkness.
Go-karts, high speeds in the dark. Sounds like a recipe for disaster to me. Let's do it.
As always, there's work to do before the fun starts. The guys are creating a test track like no other. Polystyrene trees are strictly scenery, but wild animals could be a deadly hazard to anyone crazy enough to cruise the 49th parallel with the lights off, eh?
Now, if you were smuggling maple syrup across the Canadian border, one obstacle you might encounter would be a moose. I'm going with the material that is gonna break away when we hit him with the car. So I'm gonna make the moose out of styrofoam. Hurry up, we need those done by lunch.
In fact, the team has till nightfall to ready the props for the great syrup smuggle.
The moose.
Grant's found a venue that's willing to stay up late.
So to put this myth to the test, we couldn't just go out on city streets and drive around with no headlights. That'd be way too dangerous. To test this out, we need a venue that's controlled and repeatable, where we can test things out safely, scientifically, and most importantly, sensibly.
But seriously, this is the plan. We're gonna drive this course in the dark, once with the headlights on and then with them off.
We're gonna be racing against the clock, not against each other.
And we're gonna try to go as fast as we can without crashing.
Yeah, because if you crash, that means you got caught by the cops.
And to make sure we don't remember the course, we're gonna drive the first round in one direction.
And then the second time around, we'll go completely backwards because there's no way we can remember that.
Sounds like a plan, but let's not put the cart before the moose. They still need to litter the track with some natural impediments. Hiding somewhere around a corner, our surprise moose will test the driver's reaction time.
I have to get another one. This one's not trained very well. Yeah, that's good.
And dropped randomly at the end of the straight,
perfect.
This log will test their long-range visual acuity. But that's not all.
Now, our third and final obstacle tests whether you can read a sign and make a snap decision. Both of these signs have four-letter words that begin with C. Obviously, you want to go towards the cafe and not the cops.
And here's a timely thought. If they can't see in the dark...
Now, I know what you're asking yourself. Wait a minute. If you guys are driving in the dark, how are we gonna see? I'll tell you how. Kill the lights. We have special infrared cameras and infrared lights that will allow you to see what we're doing. But just because you can see what we're doing doesn't mean we can see what we're doing. To us, it's still pitch black.
Ultimate success depends on not getting caught and not crashing. But a good smuggling trip is also a fast one. So each of our would-be felons takes one hot lap to see just how fast they are with the headlights on.
Here I go.
The track is tight and the moose is lurking, but Grant's not holding back.
And he misses the moose.
Wait for the log, wait for the log.
And he gets around the log.
Approaching the finish without a scratch, Grant's in provisional pole position.
And he's going down the right path.
That's pretty cool.
So Tori and then Jesse each take their turns, anxious to beat Grant's time without bouncing the cars off the scenery. Unseen by the drivers, the obstacles are all repositioned from one lap to the next. They were all fast and faultless. No mean feat on a twisting track without streetlights.
Lights.
Oh.
That was so much different than just regular daylight.
Yeah, it's way scarier.
All right, let's go check the leaderboard.
What?
It's glory for Tori, but just by a whisker.
All right, well, at least you've got it control now.
Yes. Now the hard part. It's time to drive in complete darkness.
No headlights. Have I told you guys that I'm afraid of the dark?
Perfect.
It's gonna be funny.
My prediction for what it's gonna be like without headlights, impossible. It's gonna be really, really crazy.
Considering that I can't even walk around this course in the dark, Grant's chances of making it through the course in the go-kart, I think are not gonna be good.
To improve his odds of survival, Grant's giving his eyes a chance to adjust. In a few minutes, his pupils will dilate, allowing more light to pass through to the retina.
Apparently, one of the key factors in human night vision is a chemical in the rod cells of the eye called rhodopsin. It's actually bleached out in normal light, and it takes about 20 minutes of darkness to regenerate. So that's how long we'll spend sitting in the dark.
At the test track, it's now pitch black.
How's that look? You tell me, I can't see.
To counter the possibility that he's memorized the track from his last run, Grant will set off in the opposite direction.
This is one of those things that is just so crazy. If it wasn't for the sound of the engine and the squealing of the wheels, it would be just like a nightmare. Just these blurry shapes rushing past you, and then wham, something's right in your face. I mean, it is a totally surreal experience.
After crawling his way around the rest of the course, Grant finally crosses the line. And the news is not good.
You totally almost did it.
Look, I was making such good time, and then there was a moose right in the middle of the road. And then I might have grazed it, and I hit the wall.
You know what, I hate to tell you, from the get-go, you went down the wrong path, and you got caught by the cops.
In other words, Grant flunked the test. But can Jessie do any better?
It was fairly close to what I had expected. I knew I was going to be hesitant in stepping on the gas.
She missed the moose, but the log is not so lucky.
I think I still have the log attached to me.
And now for the man voted most likely to burn rubber in a drive-through.
All right, so I have been sitting in the dark for 20 minutes. My eyes are completely adjusted. And you know what? I'm actually surprised at how well I can see right now.
With nary a trip nor a stumble, Tori makes his way to the cart. The flag drops, and he's off to a start that's more like a stop.
That was so hard. I couldn't see anything. I had to get like 6 feet away from the sign before I could even tell which way to go.
Jessie, of course, had the same problem. But it's what happens next that shocks the fans. The lethal lack of light has turned Tori timid.
Can't we just fast forward this?
Not while he's doing it.
You cannot see anything. I mean, you see shapes here and there, but you have no idea. You're gonna crash into something at any moment. The fact that I didn't hit the moose or the log, I think I just got lucky.
Tori was far and away the slowest. Then again, he's the only one who didn't crash or drive straight to the cops.
I'm the only one that made the delivery, but I mean, look how long it took me.
With a lap that was 4 times longer than his effort with headlights, this myth is veering off course. Then, Jessie decides to steer straight for the cliff.
And we're missing one huge thing here.
What's that?
What happens when a car comes in oncoming direction and shines their headlights right in our face?
You know, that's a good point. I mean, that would totally ruin your night vision.
It sure would. And in the interest of proper procedure, we're about to put that to the test. These night vision goggles are legal in the US, but not in Canada. Still, I don't suppose that would deter a depraved syrup smuggler.
All right, now how are we going to determine that I've been caught?
Well, she's going to try and ram you, hit your bumper, turn your car, do whatever it takes to stop you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Okay, lights out.
So can technology work where the human eye failed? Tori's first few laps are fast and bouncy.
Seeing is not a problem. Being able to judge how far you are from objects or seeing around you, that is the problem. I mean, it is truly tunnel vision. You have no depth of field, you have no peripheral vision. I mean, I must have banged into the wall, you know, 6 times.
Now, Officer Jessie gives chase. And you get the feeling it won't be long before justice catches up with our scoundrel.
And then you have the cop chasing you, and you know, that's a whole new game where it's like now you have the stress of somebody catching you, and you're having to react quickly.
But what's the ultimate verdict?
I mean, you can drive with the night vision goggles, but as soon as you started chasing me, I had to speed up, and my reaction time had to speed up. And having tunnel vision, basically, I totally misjudged that last turn. It crashed in the wall, and that's when you smacked into me and stopped me.
So driving with night vision goggles might help a little, but less than we'd hoped. The myth is first tested, totally busted.
And is it dangerous?
Yeah, absolutely.
Driving with the lights out is indeed a recipe for disaster. Fortunately, that's not something the average Joe does on a daily basis. But our next myth
Could you repeat that again?
is a different story.
Officer, would you open me a beer?
Come on, admit it. You know you do it. Talk on the cell phone while driving. And deep down, you know it's dangerous. But is it as dangerous as that other driving taboo?
The myth is that it is just as dangerous to drive while talking on a cell phone as it is while driving drunk.
Well, obviously, you know, while you're dialing, your eyes are not on the road. But what we really need to pinpoint is whether the conversation itself is dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, people seem to be under the impression that if you're at a stoplight, it might be okay to dial because you're not moving, but then it's okay to talk once you actually get moving. And that's the key thing about this myth. Is it, in fact, safe to talk on a cell phone while you're driving?
That's what we're going to test.
Today's test track is the Russell Racing School at the Infineon Raceway in Napa, California.
The plan we've got today is that both Carrie and I are the test subjects. We're actually going to do the Russell Racing School course here. They've got several different driving skills to test on us.
First, they'll each run a control lap, sober and cell phone free, to get acquainted with the test track. Then they'll navigate the test track again, only this time while Jamie distracts them with a cell phone call.
What? I can't hear that.
Finally, they'll knock back a few cold ones, take a police-administered breathalyzer test, and then climb back behind the wheel for their last lap.
Oh, man.
This is a tough one because I do notice on occasion talking on a cell phone that it's easy to zone out. Whether that's equivalent to driving while drunk, which I've never done, I have no idea.
Before they attempt the skills course impaired, they'll firstly each try a control run.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Jamie. Mark Wallachachuk. Hi, Mark.
Mark Wallachatiuk, chief instructor of the Russell Racing School, takes them both through the route.
I'm ready.
Go.
Are you ready?
Go.
First challenge, accelerating to 30 miles per hour and stopping at the sign.
If you don't get to 30, you're going to fail that part of it. If you don't stop at the stop sign, you're going to fail that part of it. Of course, nobody stops like this, do they?
I don't.
Apparently, neither does Adam.
You can't go into the other lane.
Then there's everybody's favorite, parallel parking.
Oh, man.
Just ran into a lady to get lined up in the cross. Darn.
I still can't park.
The time trial comes next.
Your job is to average 15 miles an hour through the whole course. So if you go too fast or too slow, then you're going to fail that part of it.
And now the time.
Now into time. Easy to get going fast there.
Yeah.
And you got to be at least 10 miles an hour around here. You got it.
And for the pièce de résistance, the accident avoidance challenge.
You'll drive up at, say, 30 miles an hour. I'll say left, right, or center. You've got to make that lane change and then, get through that particular lane change. All right, so now what we got to do without the brakes.
Without the brakes.
A little over 25, 27. Okay. Go.
Okay. Left. Fail. We got a pull. Okay, and right. Oh, got that. I made it.
Kind of takes you back to those driver ed days, doesn't it?
How did I do?
Well, that's pretty good. We were a little quick for what we call the road drive. You're very good at the parking. Every time you turn, I'm going to want to see checking both sides and signaling.
For the whole test?
Yeah, even.
Okay.
So that's a pass. It's all good.
And Carrie?
I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm a really, really bad driver.
That wasn't bad. You need to practice your parking, which not many people do. But so I failed you on that. The rest of it, you did actually very good in the accident avoidance part. That was really close. That was good. So overall, you passed.
With the control run passed, it's time to break out the cell phones and try a more distracted lap.
For the cell phone test, I'll be off on the sidelines talking into a cell phone and delivering 3 different types of tasks to the driver in the car. The first one is repeat the sentence. They just have to repeat what I've said. The second one is a verbal puzzle. They have to actually think about what their answer is going to be. And then the third one is a monologue where they have to list 5 different things about some particular subject that I'll give them. There's no doubt in my mind that their driving performance is going to be significantly reduced.
I'm a little nervous about it. I don't think I'm gonna do very well on this one.
Okay, go. Go. All right, if I say Jack stole Ann's ball, who's the thief?
That would be, Jack.
Jag.
Okay, repeat the sentence. The driver was stopped for driving 67 miles per hour in a 20-mile-per-hour zone.
Driver was stopped for driving in a 15-mile-per-hour zone. I did it?
No, you missed it.
Driving this course was insane trying to talk on the cell phone. You could not pay attention to both at the same time.
If you see a picture with a diamond, a rectangle, and a circle, and the circle is to the right of the rectangle and directly above the diamond, is the rectangle right above the diamond?
I have no idea. Rectangle. Could you repeat that again?
Which girl is taller if Jane is shorter than Kim?
Kim is taller. Kim is taller.
Give me 5 things that are part of your daily work or activities.
Kissing ass. Drilling and pulping. Doing my hair. Doing on-camera PMPs. And, yoga. Making phone calls. And, weird. Driving to work. Checking my email. And avoiding phone calls from certain people. And...
Here they come, racing to the finish line. And the winner is?
Well, that was awful. That was absolutely awful.
We actually gave her a fail for the overall course.
And Adam?
He did end up failing. He failed half of the elements.
That makes the MythBusters 0 for 2.
There are a ton of studies and a lot of conflicting data about how much talking on a cell phone actually affects your driving.
Yeah, one study actually showed that a simple conversation wouldn't affect driving at all.
Yeah, but a British study did extensive testing with things like memory tests, reasoning, and mental arithmetic, and found that it did heavily affect your ability to drive. And that was the first study to actually compare it to a benchmark of something we know is dangerous, which is driving under the influence of alcohol.
So it's back to the test track. Yep, there's only one way to test this one. And to feel the effects of the booze quicker, they fasted since last night.
I haven't eaten since I woke up. I've got a kind of hunger headache. It's a hot day out here, and I expect it's going to get me pretty toasty.
But not too toasty. The catch is they need to ensure their blood alcohol ratio remains below 0.08, the legal limit for operating a motor vehicle in California. Or the experiment will be called off. So they've called in a few of San Rafael's finest. to administer breathalyzers 15 minutes after every beer downed.
Okay, start drinking now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. Cheers.
I'm actually surprised that I'm a little cockeyed. One beer, empty stomach.
What I need you to do is just put your mouth over this tube here and blow.
One beer, and 15 minutes later, Carrie's ready for the test.
Okay.
Slow or hard?
Yeah, I'll hold on to this hard. Okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Go, 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 go. Okay. Okay, there you are right there. 0.038.
Halfway there.
That means I get another beer? Officer, would you have me a beer?
You're next, Adam.
Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Go, go, go. There.
I bet I need another beer.
Oh!
0.027. 0.027. It sounds like I have a lot more to drink.
Now there's something you don't hear every day.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Closer, but you can go higher, Carrie.
What do you say she completes the other half beer and
It's not even half, it's like a third.
051. 051. I think I need another beer. Here we go.
Let's hope Carrie's second beer's a charm.
There you go.
075. That's
You're
it.
right there. Beautiful.
All right, can't get any more. 075.
And Adam's third tips the scales.
07. 07. All right.
Good. All right.
Let's try with 07.
They're rocked. Now it's time to roll.
Oh my God, you're getting in my car?
Yep, our brave instructor is once again putting his life on the line to grade their performances.
Being the fact that we're only going to potentially knock over a few cones, I'm just fine.
Let's hope Carrie's driving isn't that bad.
And go.
First obstacle, the brake test. That's a stop sign, Carrie. Slow down. Stop.
We did go past the stop sign here right off the bat by about 4 or 5 feet, so we ended up in the crosswalk.
Not a promising start. And parallel parking is up next.
Actually, I gave her the parking. It was one of her best efforts. It was marginally good.
Here comes the road timing test. Remember, it's got to be done in 45 seconds. Uh-oh, 30 seconds. That's going to cost you. Hope you do better on the accident avoidance test.
We pretty much killed a couple cones over in the accident avoidance.
Or maybe not.
I also think I took out a few cones.
A few cones? You slew half the obstacles, Carrie. That's what's known as a failure.
Can we stop using the word failure and just be like, I didn't succeed? I am feeling a little bit tired and tipsy, and I'm definitely done with this experiment because I don't usually drink beers during the day in the sun. So all I want to do is go to sleep now and maybe eat something. No, I'm done with my...
Go ahead, Carrie, indulge. You've earned it.
I'm gonna eat pizza in a minute. That's all I really care about.
You'll get your reward soon enough, Adam.
Adam, how we doing?
And go.
Assuming you can ever park.
Well, we saw the parking, so that was a little off. There was a couple times that I reminded him to look both ways, and I gave him kind of a half fail on that.
He's coming down the home stretch. Just one challenge left.
The only thing with the accident avoidance, he did do it, but he kind of slowed down through the whole thing.
It's not looking good, Adam. Like Carrie, you failed nearly half the course.
Kind of a 2.5 fails, I guess.
So you just like kind of suck.
Just
I don't kind of suck. I mean, I was definitely impaired enough that, you know, it's the sort of impaired you want to keep people off the road at that level.
That's right. Not only is drinking and driving not smart, it's illegal and very dangerous. So, what's the final word?
Clearly, the results show that talking on the cell phone while driving is potentially as dangerous as driving drunk.
I mean, we failed both the cell phone and the drunk driving tests, but we failed the cell phone test by a much bigger margin. However, all that being said, I still think that you can always put down the cell phone if something's happening that you've got to deal with. You can't exactly, so at least I can't exactly just stop being drunk.
So what do you reckon? Confirmed, busted, or plausible?
It's absolutely confirmed.
I agree, confirmed.
I'm a little shocked.
There's no denying the dangers of drink driving, but some folks believe they can outsmart the fuzz and get away with it. To find out if it's possible to beat a breath test, Adam and Jamie are taking one for the team.
This is definitely going to be a strange day.
Here we are at the San Francisco Police Department Crime Lab, and we've got the breath tester, and we're going to get drunk today, I think, and see whether we can get around the breath test.
Well, there's a lot of myths out there that are really kind of strange about all these substances you can use to potentially beat the breath test.
You know, Adam, I don't think any of this stuff is going to work.
I don't think any of things are going to work either, but it's up to us to imbibe and then further imbibe all of these things to show this.
So the idea is to get drunk, then put different products in their mouths to try to fool the breath test machine into giving a lower reading. The San Francisco Police Department generously offered its crime lab for the day. Officer Bruce Gendron will be watching over Adam and Jamie. Adam's drink of choice this time is scotch. Neat. Jamie's mixing vodka with cranberry juice.
I don't know if I've ever had a drink this early in the day.
Nostrovia, Kampai, Prost.
Right there with you, buddy.
In California, you're considered legally intoxicated with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08. Spirits are about 40% alcohol. How many the guys need to reach the limit depends largely on their weight and how fast they drink.
A little bit of food to cut the alcohol. I'm lit. It's like 1 in the afternoon and I'm lit.
Food does slow alcohol's absorption into the bloodstream, but their livers can only metabolize 1 drink an hour, and just 5% of alcohol is expelled through urine. Put simply, their bodies can't keep up.
So we've had 13 drinks over 3 hours. I know I'm drunk, but I can't even remotely tell that you're drunk. It's kind of annoying. I want to see you like put a lampshade on your head or something.
Sorry, bub.
All right, let's go. I feel totally fine. Allow me to place this on your breath testing machine and I'll be happy to be tested.
You are pretty smelly. That's it, keep it up. Listen to the music, and that's what we're trying to do, is keep that sound going. Very good. That's good. Yeah,
1-1.
1-1.
All right, finally. Woo, we're at 1-1. We're over the limit. I'm guessing Jamie goes to 0.9. I think the extreme difference in muscle mass will make Jamie process alcohol a lot more efficiently than I do, apparently.
He's doing fine. You just sit over there and be quiet. It's rough enough having one of you here, but having 2...
Of course I'm causing trouble.
Yep, 09.
09, legally drunk.
Legally drunk and illegal behind the wheel. Strangely enough, the first refuge of a driver pulled over in this condition seems to be breath mints.
Right after you get stopped, and we're making it up to the vehicle, and you can see them rushing around in the car trying to find mints or trying to find anything to put in their mouth. But it's also...
A trackside sobriety test quickly reveals how the guys are faring.
I don't want you looking down. Okay, now stop. Want you to turn around just on the balls of your feet. With your right index finger, touch your nose. I think you just fell asleep. Can I have you keep your arms next to your side?
To prove a driver is drunk, police usually rely on a breath test. Because alcohol is carried by the blood into the lungs and exhaled, the amount of alcohol on the person's breath is proportional to the amount in their bloodstream. Over the limit, the guys will now try to beat the breath test, using products that urban legend has it will confuse the machine. First up, those mints.
All right, I'm gonna take 2 of these, okay?
Will getting rid of the smell get rid of the alcohol?
Ooh. Okay, that's minty.
1-0.
1-0. Fat lot of good that did me.
He's still blowing over 0.08. Maybe something with a stronger smell?
Your best bet is probably to hold your nose, literally, and just take a big bite out of this onion.
My eyes are watering here. Let's try and see if you were able to fool us. Nice and steady. Keep going. Keep going. That's good. That's good. Jamie, that was an 08. The onion didn't do anything.
Some breath testing machines act like a fuel cell. The more alcohol blown in, the higher the electrical current produced. That could well have sparked the myth that keeping a battery in your mouth would beat the test.
I gotta suck on the battery now?
You get the battery.
Yeah, I'm letting you off easy, baby.
Being able to put a battery in your mouth and keeping it there without me knowing that it's there would be very, very difficult.
I would agree with him. It would be very difficult to talk with a battery in my mouth.
I'd say you're charged. It's a 1-0.
A second type of tester relies on a chemical reaction. Perhaps throwing a little extra copper into the mix will fool it.
You ready? Nice, steady blow. That's it. Very good, thank you. 0.09. Pennies don't work.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Another pseudo-scientific myth suggests hyperventilating might cleanse the lungs of alcohol for just long enough to pass.
All right. 1-1.
But that doesn't work either. In fact, the myths are running dry. One last contender, mouthwash.
One wonders where you do this in a car while the police are like coming around to your window, but nonetheless, we'll try it.
Just nice and steady again.
0.43.
4-3.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, 0.43. Yeah, that's way, 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 way gone.
Something's causing a false reading. A little higher at 0.5 is lethal. To iron out glitches like that, police always test you twice.
Very good. 1-3.
So it would appear that mouthwash doesn't work at all. I mean, even if they got two readings that were grossly out of sync, all they do is take your blood test, and your blood test would tell them exactly how much alcohol you have in your system. It would seem that nothing works.
On MythBusters, they do what it takes. 13 drinks, a mouthful of onion, batteries, pennies, and hyperventilating. It appears to be a sobering warning for any potential drunk driver.
Using the machine, you will be busted.
So what do you think? Is this myth busted?
I'd say it's fairly busted.
Pretty fairly busted. I'd say it's definitively busted. You can't beat the breath test.
With that settled, the guys are moving on to the most daring of our dangerous driving myths. A drag race, if you will.
How's that fit in?
Well, the myth is that there are certain types of shoe wear so poorly designed for driving that they actually make you into a dangerous driver.
You don't actually think I'm going to wear those, do you?
In fact, I do.
Could it be true that wearing certain types of footwear will turn you into a hazard of the highway? To find out, they're heading straight to the test track.
So we got a closed course and a car with racing harnesses in it.
What could be a better day?
Where they're planning a stunt driving shoe showdown.
Brought out an old friend, Marv Ruff, who is an instructor at the Alameda County EVOC Training Center. So Marv is going to bring us back up to speed, and he may even teach us a few new tricks.
Yep, before they can begin their testing, the guys first need to hone their handling.
So what's first?
We're going to try a reverse 180.
Awesome.
This is going to be fun.
Jamie and I are going to line up a bunch of complicated driving maneuvers.
Just remember, let the car do the work.
We're going to get really good at them.
A little more speed now. That was nice.
And then we're going to see if it's even remotely possible to do them in some fancy footwear.
Whoa! That is so much fun.
And there's more fun to come, because those silky stunt skills are going to be the basis for a fancy footwear test track.
Oh, that's the end of the straightaway.
And to say it's extreme is an understatement.
The first part of our course is accident avoidance. The moment that light changes, Jamie has to choose a lane.
Accident avoidance means not hitting any cones. It also means not hitting any people.
After accident avoidance comes the forward 180, which we've been practicing.
He's gotten pretty good at it, too.
He's got to nudge this pedestrian. Then he goes into a reverse 180.
Like that. The reverse 180 leads naturally to a zigzag slalom, which requires very precise application of both the gas and the brake, something that might be very difficult with weird shoes.
And the whole thing gets timed. It's to try and get the best possible time.
Yep, a time trial is the ideal way to put the shoes through their paces. And first up is the control, the regular shoes benchmark.
Regular shoes, control test in 3, 2, 1, go.
The course is working out great. To make it through quickly, you have to move your foot from pedal to pedal, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. It's working fine with the shoes that I've got on, but what it does with fancy footwear, we'll see.
All right, well, your first one was 122, second was 121. I think that's your benchmark.
Okay.
My turn.
3, 2, 1, go.
When Jamie and I set up this course, we were looking for something that would force us to drive at the very limit of our ability, and that's pretty much exactly what this thing does. If any kind of alternative shoe wear is going to inhibit my ability to drive at all, it's going to show up on this course.
How'd I do?
117.
117. I've been hitting that every time. I guess that's my benchmark.
That's pure fun right there.
They've burned through their control laps in times that the hazardous heels might find hard to match.
Like that smell of burning rubber, don't you?
Not really.
Well, our controls are done, though.
Yep, it's time to move on to the other stuff.
To some fancy footwear.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
The guys have selected snow boots, wedges, and 4-inch high heels as the types of shoes most likely to cause difficulty driving.
Now it's time to put this story to the test. It's why we're wearing our driving shoes.
This is just wrong.
Seriously, this could be dangerous, so stop laughing. Seriously, stop laughing.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
These red heels are hard enough to walk in, let alone drive.
Oh, hey. Humans weren't meant to wear these things.
But when the rubber hits the road, how will these shoes affect Adam's ability to control the pedals?
Okay, red shoes in 3, 2, 1, go.
Unfortunately for Adam, there seems to be trouble from the very start.
Harder to get up to speed because I'm pointing my toe.
Because of the narrow toe.
Whoa. Okay, that was different.
And the towering heel.
Into the reverse 180, ladies and gentlemen.
Shifting from pedal to pedal seems harder.
Whoa, a little understeer there, eh?
But Adam and his stilettos do stay the distance.
Come on, baby. Let's get home. Daddy's got a new pair of shoes.
And he completes the lap. But how much of high heels hampered his handling?
How did I do?
I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like, if anything, I was a couple seconds slow.
Nope, you were right on the money. 1:17.
No way!
Yep.
Adam has matched his control time exactly. 1 minute 17.
Freaking hell, that's hilarious.
In red 4-inch high heels.
Nothing like a good pair of driving shoes.
But will there be a spike?
All right.
In Jamie's lap time?
You know, I might have a problem doing this if I was more insecure than I am. As it is, it's just another day on the job.
All right, high-heeled shoes driving test in 3, 2, 1, go.
Jamie tries his hardest to put the pedal to the metal.
I think I'm getting a sense as to where this story comes from. So far, so good. I mean, just look at these things. They look awkward. They feel awkward. They don't feel like they're efficient things to be able to drive a car with.
How do you think you did?
I don't know, about the same?
Exactly the same. 1 minute, 21 seconds.
Well, there you go.
Time to move it up a notch.
Ready with the wedges?
I'm totally ready, and I'm sparkly.
Go.
With a higher heel and an open toe, the wedges take some getting used to.
I felt my foot catch a little bit on the accelerator pedal there.
But on the test track,
But I don't really feel like it's getting in my way.
for both Adam
118.
and Jamie,
1 minute, 22 seconds. Pretty much right on the money.
it's left them with one last pair, the bunny boots.
Let's do it.
Okay, snow boots. In 3, 2, 1, go.
The early signs are promising.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, I might have lost some real time there.
But the stopwatch barely skips a beat.
119.
119, wow. Just a little bit slower.
Not by much, though. I'd say that's also within an acceptable margin of error.
That's crazy.
And Jamie's snow boot time?
On the money, 121.
Well, we've tried really hard to craft an experiment that would tease out any difference in types of footwear and their effect on your ability to drive. We built a course that required lots of precision driving maneuvers. And after all of this testing, we can't discern that there's any significant difference between any of these shoes and how they affect your ability to precisely drive.
None of the shoe styles we tried made any difference whatsoever in our timing.
No, and I think we've got a pretty good spectrum there, too. I gotta say, this one's busted.
Thoroughly busted.
Let's get out of here.
You do realize that this is what's going to stick with us throughout eternity?
The things we do in the name of science.
Seriously, stop laughing.
So while the footwear you wear won't turn you into a road risk,
Whoa! Okay, that was different.
driving in the dark without headlights at speed will. Talking on your cell phone
Could you repeat that again?
while driving can be just as dangerous as driving drunk.
Officer, would you open a beer?
And if you're foolish enough to try the latter,
Fat lot of good that did me.
there's no fooling the breathalyzer.
I'd say you're charged.